Okay, thank you, Paul. And I'm turning it over to Giang now, who will introduce our next entrepreneur.
Can everybody hear me okay? Hello?
Hi, Giang, we hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to talk about barriers to being an entrepreneur today and how to get over those barriers. And I have an amazing entrepreneur with me, a culture. She's the CEO and founder of Fully Charged Snack. She's an amazing woman, super inspiring. Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody also, Faye? You're upside down.
Know how I'm upside down. I don't know what happened. All I did was turn on the computer and now I'm upside down. So if you can give me a moment, I'm using this from let me transfer over to my phone really quickly to see what's happening. And I will try to get this fixed. Just 1 second, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay, bear with us. It's the day and age of technology, I guess.
So the Fairview Heights and Tacoma community are sharing in some fully charged snacks. I'm going to hand one over to you, Jane, now. You want to take it?
Yeah, why don't you send some to me? And yes, we do want you guys to taste some of this delicious snacks that she has. When people sign up for this, we use her as a giveaway because we just believe in her snacks so much. I love it. I even asked a culture to let me be a taste tester of some of her snacks.
I don't know what is happening. Unfortunately, it is not allowing me to do anything. So I can't even log in from my phone. So I don't know if it's better for me to just turn my camera off or or try to
Whichever you like.
Yeah, we can hear you real clear.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, go right ahead. You can ask me your questions if it's okay. If people want to see me upside down.
I'm sure everybody's fine with it. So I guess first thing first, let's start from the beginning, right? You're a woman, you're a minority, you're starting this like dream. How was, take me back to like when you put pens to paper, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna give out some snacks, like, you know, give us the beginning to where you are now. Just kind of like the story and the barriers that you have to overcome just at the beginning level.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate the Williams Factory. They've been very instrumental in helping our business grow. Funny enough, I started this out of a necessity. My mother and I, she's a registered nurse that worked in the ER with people who had allergies and ended up having to come in and be in critical care due to those food allergies. I equally had a food allergy. I was very sick the entire time that I was pregnant with my daughter, my only child. And she wanted to make some snacks for me to be able to assist me while I was going through this transition. And unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, I had a lot of time on my hands. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, how about we test this in the market to see if other moms like me would be interested in having this, because we're going to be going back to work soon. And I thought, and so we decided to go ahead and get the business off the ground. And we ended up ultimately starting Fully Charged allergy-friendly snacks from there. One of our biggest initial barriers that we had starting the business was not necessarily funds as much as it was supply chain issues. There was a lack of items in the marketplace because the big players were having trouble getting access to items. And so what ended up happening was that every time we would try to go and purchase something, we would end up being in a situation where we did not have the items that we needed. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, great.
Yes. You're
There
no
we go.
longer
Now we're
upside
better. I
down.
think we're in order.
Yes.
I'm multitasking at the same time, trying to make this work out. Okay, so then we went into the situation where we were trying to compete against the big guys, and we didn't have enough money. They were telling us, they were saying that you have to order 5,000 pounds of flour in order to get started. And we didn't even have enough customers to cover 5,000 pounds of flour. So we had to quickly start getting creative to say, start taking pre-orders before the item was really ready to go to market. We weren't able to test at an entry level. So we had to go after our big clients straight out of the gate. And I had a background in sales and retail sales. And so what was very important to me was to be able to show the person, show the client the item, give them a sample, and then really just say, trust your gut. And that was one of the initial barriers that we had, trying to get them to believe in us, in comparison to the big guys that had a large share of the marketplace.
So your challenges were some aspect of finances, but also mainly supply chain also. Did you start
Yes.
your business during the pandemic?
Yes, we did. We started our business during the pandemic in 2020. We had a bakery before, a physical bakery back in 2011, but it had gone defunct while my mother was still working and I had a father who was sick. But as it relates to the finance portion of it, we didn't have enough money to be able to finance those large orders at that time. So, when we were talking about 5,000 pounds of flour from a particular vendor that was, allergy-free, gluten-free, it was almost $12,000, just to order the flour. And so one of the things that I had to start doing was going around and getting all of the quotes, and then I was selling off of my quotes that I received. So when I was notified, oh, you have to pay $12,000 to get this flour, I would immediately get online and try to start getting a $12,000 deal, because I ended up getting more. I would try to get a $25,000 deal to be able to put $12,000 to pay for the flour and the other $12,000 to be able to go into our pocket. So I didn't even consider just selling. I said, well, I'm not even going to, most people told us, well, just try to sell online, try to sell on Facebook and Instagram. Then go into the farmer's market when things gently reopened in 2021, 2022. But we had to go what I call for the juggler, because we didn't have the opportunity to be able to get in softly. We had to either, as my father used to say, go big or go home. So I came out of the gate having to do big sales in order to cover those costs. And so what I like to share with fellow entrepreneurs is, one thing that I learned was that people are as convinced to buy your product or your service as you are when you're selling it. So it's really the confidence. If you're very sure that you can produce and provide to your customer or your client exactly what it is that you're selling, it's not always as hard of a sale. Now, I'm not telling you that I didn't get no's or I didn't get not yet, but every person that I went to that I was very confident that our product would work was like, either come back to me in 3 months or go get these components together and we'll buy from you, or we'll partner you with someone that can get this done. It was never just a flat out no, because I knew my product, I knew my service, I knew that I could deliver if I got the opportunity, and I never went after anything that would cripple me financially or something that would cripple the reputation of the business and not be able to produce.
What is some of the advice you would give someone that is as like an idea stage? And we'll talk about ideas next also in a bit, but somebody's at an idea stage you know, like somebody that's in my background, for example, I'm first gen, I'm immigrant. My parents don't have, like, you know, traditionally you would ask your family for some down money and then you use that down money to start your business, but we don't always get $1 million loans, unfortunately. So
Right.
what is some advice you would give for those entrepreneurs at that stage to overcome all of these barriers that you have to bust down along the way?
I would say practice selling your idea right now before you do anything, because I was the same. No one in my family was an entrepreneur before my mom tried it in 2011, and I was an adult. You know, I was growing and out of the house, and she kind of did it with me. But we didn't come from an entrepreneurial background. We did not have we're not rich, did not have any form of, you know, traditional financing or anything. So I would say first start selling the idea. Long before fully charged snacks was actually in a bag in people's hand, I was already talking to people as we were formulating the idea. We had a different name when we originally started called Dot's Desserts. We wanted to name it after our grandmother and start paying honor to her, but we were getting confused by looking like something that we were not. We also went through a stage where people thought we were selling dog treats. We went through a stage where people thought that we had cannabis. And so we were able to really sort through a lot of those initial growing pains by selling the idea from the beginning. So if you say, I sell pencils, you know, practice going out, I feel like even before you get to the business plan part, and start talking to people about, hey, I have a pencil selling business. These are some of the 2 or 3 things that make my pencils unique from other people's pencils. Do you see yourself buying a pencil? How much would you buy? Really try to flush out your idea from the very beginning to see if it's something that you have some legs to stand on. Also, be open to a lot of critique and feedback at this stage that comes when you're sharing your idea. So it gives people an opportunity to kind of eat it up for you long before an investor or anyone else tries to come in, and or you get on Shark Tank and you feel like, oh, I was embarrassed, or, you know, something happened. Really try to test your idea in the market. And I think the second thing is to really figure out your numbers before you even get formalized. Like, you know, if you have good credit or bad credit, you know how much money you have saved in the bank, you know the financial standing of your family or your friends or your community. Really start to look at the cost and the responsibility that it's going to take to start your business. I think a lot of people create unrealistic expectations. I had a friend who was in the music business. He wasn't even in anything selling products, but he wanted to be an artist. And he did not take into account that when you're a struggling artist starting out, the most people that come to your shows are just your family and friends. And they don't always want to do that every single time. And so eventually, you know, years later, he went back to a traditional job, but that was one of the things that he said that he learned. And I didn't want to just sell my snacks to my family, friends, and the community. I really wanted to get into the marketplace. So I think just taking an assessment of really fleshing out that idea to say, before I put a lot of energy, money, and time into consultants or accelerators, or even creating a business plan and staying up late at night, just do I have some of the basic components that may be needed? I'm not saying don't do it, but, you know, I knew that there was a lot of things that I realized that life had put in place for me before I got to the business in the pandemic. I had already started working on my credit 2 or 3 years before, because I wanted to buy a home. And then what ended up happening was my credit actually ended up going towards my business. I still didn't end up buying the home, you know, till this day, but the business now has been profitable to me, where now I can take the money from the business and buy a home. So you just never know what putting
Wow,
those pieces of the
congrats.
puzzle. Yeah, you don't know what the pieces of the puzzle will lead to, but when you start to just lay that foundation, that'll really be helpful. So flesh out the ideas and then get yourself prepared for what you're going to do before you get started.
Wow, so much insight. Thank you so much, A, for being with us. And to hop on top of your ideas of flushing out your idea, we at the William Factory is currently rolling out a thing for everybody. Just do that, called the Ideas Nest. And I just want to take a quick minute to kind of show everybody what it is. It is a platform where you can share your idea that belongs to you, so you can make your idea privatized and share it with only the people that you want to share it with, or share it with the public, but the ideas remain the same. Use this to solidify your identity, because that's so important when you start your business. Do market research with this platform, and you're looking at here is the William Factory. Actually, here is our entrepreneur's business idea being solidified in the work. So I just want to take a quick moment talking about our ideas nest, and I want to thank A again. How are we doing on time, Tim? Am I on time?
Yeah, we got 2 minutes and then we turn it over to Grace.
Well, I
Yes.
do want to say
So
this, if I can, with one of those minutes. Ideas Nest is even great at whatever stage of business you're in. We've recently are going to take on a new level in our venture, and we are going to Ideas Nest to be able to flush that out through the Williams Factory. So it's not just at the idea phase for the startup, but as you begin to expand your business or to go into new partnerships, it's a really great place to say, okay, this is where we are and this is what we can add to it. So I feel like Ideas Nest will be great for any stage of business that you're in. And I'm very grateful that I was introduced to it through the Williams Factory.
thank you so much, A. And everybody, I want to give A an applause. Amazing woman, amazing product. If you are able to, please sample some of her snacks. They're so good. That's why Tim have them hog in his office. And
Thank
he
you.
didn't share any with me. So thank you so much, A. And we'll
Thank
talk
you.
again soon in the future.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you for a wonderful event.
Thank you. All right, Grace, we're turning it over to you.